But we're good though.
Okay.
All righty. Let's get the show on the road. I'm trying to make that more of a thing because that's how I start like every single class ever.
Oh, I've never taken your class.
Yeah, I know. and/or. Yes, you have.
Oh, yeah, well,
like last week.
I just don't listen.
That's a definite. I will never forget the one time that you told me that you were like a bad member before you became a coach, and I just I fully understand. I fully understand. All right. So, show on the road. Halloween party update, just so that we're all aware. Saturday, November 1st, after class, because there is class the day after Halloween. Nolan will be coaching the 7:30 a.m. X4 class.
Yes.
Colin will be coaching, that's me, the 9 a.m. CrossFit class. We will have tacos from Daniela's restaurants. We will have mimosas that Coach Colin and owner Greg will provide. We would like for you to wear your costumes. And there is a Coach Look-alike contest for an LSKD gift card. We went over it on episode 2. All right.
Then the schedule for actual day, Halloween the 31st, isn't that abbreviated?
Yeah, abbreviated to 5 a.m., 6 a.m., 8 a.m.
Yes.
No evening classes on Halloween.
I knew it was something.
Go hang out with your families. Please. Anyway. All right. After that, we've got the Halloween and spooky season shirts, or Halloween/spooky season shirts, because they're not like necessarily specific to Halloween, I guess. Day of the Dead, they're skeletons. Anyway.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah. They ship on, I got the notification they will ship on the 27th, which it is currently
23rd.
the 24th.
Close
enough. Anyway, and they should be here. Usually it takes them like 2 days. They ship from Florida. He does it express, so they should be here by the 29th or the 30th. So we will pick them up if you did a pre-order on those. We also did order a certain amount of extras as well. So if you didn't pick one up, but you happen to really, 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 really like it when you see it, there will be some extras. I think I ordered like 5XL. I can't remember. So I definitely ordered extras. And then that next one.
Yeah, so we do have something planned up if you didn't get a chance to get these or you're not interested in these. We do have some hoodies or sweatshirts coming up for mid-November.
Coach Nolan's going to design them. Coach Colin usually designs them, but Coach Nolan didn't like this last one, so.
I didn't say that.
He just specifically told me that he didn't want one. Anyway.
I have so many t-shirts.
I have a walk-in closet of t-shirts. It's free. Anyway. Anyway. All right. Really quick, Coach Nolan and I wanted to go over some CrossFit updates for you. Just 2 things. Just so we're all aware, quarterfinals have returned this year. We do not have specific details on what exactly it's going to look like, or I believe when. Maybe it's going to be like 2 weeks after the last weekend of the Open.
Didn't they say what the percentages are going to be?
They did, yes. It's top 25% again.
Yeah.
It is the legitimate quarterfinals again, where the top 25% of the Open will move on to quarterfinals. So
telling me there's a chance.
What did you get, like 70th percentile last time?
Well, that was double unders.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only thing.
Yeah, man.
Only reason. Everything else
worked on our double unders or something. Anyway, with all the time that you don't have.
Anyway, Rogue Invitational is going to be October 31st through the 11th, 2nd. This is going to be the pros.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know if that's this year or next year.
No, it's this year. It's literally next weekend. It's Halloween to November 2nd. It's one of my personal favorites to watch. And if you haven't caught any of the professional stuff this past year, this is a really good one to check in with, because it's probably one of the best competitions that they put on.
It is really fun to watch.
Yeah, it's super fun to watch. The events are going to be super awesome. I don't know if they've announced any of the events yet.
I don't know. I haven't heard anything.
I feel like they've announced pieces. There's going to be like a bench press workout. There's going to be a log muscle up workout.
Oh, I have seen a lot of clips of them doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That. Yeah, like I've seen a lot of clips of them online doing that. So they must know that that's going to come up. I'm sure that we just missed a post there or something like that. But in any case, Rogue Invitational. It's in Aberdeen, Scotland. So the times are a little weird. I want to say it's like usually in the morning, which is like the afternoon there or something like that. I can't exactly remember what the time difference is, but it's a very cool competition. And I strongly recommend, if you've never checked out anything with the professional level of CrossFit, to give this one a view or two.
Yeah, typically it's easier to watch. There's less hiccups in the stream. Whether I think it was last year on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue, I think, usually runs their own live stream. So
yeah,
I think it's
or is it off of their website?
It could be off of their website.
Yeah,
roguefitness.com.
Yeah, but they do a good job with that.
100%.
Yeah. All right, so getting into the programming for the week, what are we looking forward to as far as our cycles?
Yeah, so we're advancing the cycles once again. We'll be on week 4 of the other total cycle. This week with Halloween on Friday in the abbreviated schedule, I put power cleans on Monday, overhead squat and front squat on Tuesday, and then the bench press cycle on Wednesday. So it's going to go Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week, just because we always want to be hitting those, like I kind of briefly mentioned last week. Those are kind of like the meat and potatoes of the week, basically. Right. Like I really want to like hone in on those, because the more touches that we can get on those, obviously, the more touches we get before we get to our 1 rep max day, which will be on week 7, because there will be a week 6 deload. So yeah. This will be week 4, and then we'll find a little bit more in week 5, as in like a little bit higher percentages, and then week 6 will be a deload, and week 7 will be the retest, and we'll continue to go over that here on the podcast
for sure
for the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and then this Thursday, this Thursday was the focus on strict gymnastics strength. What's the focus this Thursday?
Yeah, so this Thursday, the focus is on grip. It's one of the kind of like underlying things I feel like in CrossFit that isn't touched all the time, specifically. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, like when we're doing strict gymnastics or dynamic gymnastics, like we're going to work on our grip, because a lot of that depends on hanging. But kind of like the specific, like I need to hold on to the barbell or I need to hold on to the kettlebell grip focus is something that we don't touch on super often, and is also an incredibly vital part to improving our grip for those things in gymnastics. So this week we've got kind of a grip heavy day on Thursday.
Yeah, well, that's a good thing to focus on, because really a lot of times when it comes to, if you're going for those heavier lifts, that tends to be what goes before your muscles go. Usually you could make the lift, whether it's like a deadlift or whatnot, but then you can't physically hold on to the bar. If you can't do that, if your grip goes before your strength and your muscles go, you're not going to go very far, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, we see it all the time with like a front squat and a clean, right? Like if you're, as a quick example, like if your deadlift is 405, okay, and your front squat is 300, but you struggle cleaning 225, why? What you know what I mean? Like, what's the limiting factor there? Obviously, there could be like an explosiveness issue, but I would say probably at least like 50% of the time, you have the grip to deadlift it because you can deadlift 405. You have the power to front squat it because you can front squat 300, but you literally can't hold on to the bar long enough to get it into the position to front squat it at 225. So that's kind of why we focus on these grip things from time to time.
For sure. And then what about we got that benchmark coming up, spooky season. What's that?
Yeah, so spooky season will be on Friday. It'll be the class workout for our 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and 8 a.m. on Halloween. It's a new benchmark going forward. I don't necessarily I don't think that we did it last year.
Because I've never done it before. I didn't know if you had done it before or not.
No, I have not done it before either. But it's a new benchmark going forward. So we should be seeing it relatively every Halloween, which is kind of cool. I like that we do that. I like that we have specific workouts that we see year over year, because it's a little bit of a test on top of that, even if it's a holiday. Yeah. But in any case, spooky season is kind of a mix of a long cardio, moderate level of gymnastics with sets of 20 pull-ups, and then very heavy lifts, or on the heavier side for a Metcon lifts. Okay. So we've got a lot of calories on the bike, then a couple of sets of like 20 pull-ups, and then it goes deadlift, power clean, and power snatch for the lifts in order, and we kind of increase the weight we decrease the weight as it goes, because it goes from a 225 deadlift for guys, 155 for ladies, to a 185 power clean for guys, a 135 power clean for ladies, and then we finish with a 135 power snatch for guys and a 95-pound power snatch for ladies.
So how would you approach something like that? What would be your strategy going in?
Well, so for me, I know that gymnastics is my strong suit here. So I know that I'm gonna try and do the 20 pull-ups unbroken every time, because I know that I'll be able to handle that and it not like take too much away from me. Deadlifts is my favorite movement in all of CrossFit, so I would most likely try and pull close to unbroken for the 20. It depends on where my grip would be at after the 20 pull-ups,
Yeah.
but I'd be pretty solid in saying that I could hit more than 15 there. So whether it be 15.5 or 20 unbroken, that's what I would try there. But once again, I would probably evaluate my grip after the 20 pull-ups to kind of see how that's gonna shake out, basically.
Yeah.
And then, so the bike is kind of where we start, obviously. So I guess I kind of did that in a little bit of order, a little bit out of order, but that's only because that's where my
focus goes.
Yeah,
How you think about the workout.
that's how I think about it, right? Is like I look at what I'm gonna be strong at, and then I kind of go from there in those scenarios. So the bike has never been a strong suit of mine. I would probably be on the Echo bike one way or another, just because I know that that's something that I need to work on. So I would choose the Echo bike. So it's a 40, 35, 40 for guys, 35 cal Echo bike for guys every time we get back to the Echo bike, or the bike in general. But I would try to hold my Metcon pace for 40. I know that that's a long set of Echo bike there.
Yeah.
But my Metcon pace is like 72 to 73 cadence. So I'm going to try and hold 72 to 73 the entire time. And that's, for me, that's not a push it pace. You know what I mean? Like
if
if it
something
was,
you should be able to maintain.
Exactly. It's something that I should be able to maintain almost no matter where I'm at in the workout. That's kind of what I mean by Metcon pace. If it was like a push it pace, I'd be trying to go for like 77, 78. But that would be,
or an attack pace for those of you in X4.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. Attack pace. I like it. If I was attacking that bike, I'd probably be more in like the 77, 78 range.
Yeah.
But I usually save that for like less than 20, right around 20 or less. I try to like save it for that. Like an example of that would be yesterday. I had a workout that had sets of 12 calories in it, and I was
can push the pace on that.
Exactly.
Because it'll be over quick.
Exactly. I pushed it up to 85.
Yeah.
And I was done in less than 40 seconds every time. But in any case, so back to this workout, back to spooky season. So I'd try to hold my Metcon pace for the 40 and 35 cal bike. I would attempt to do every set of 20 pull-ups unbroken, because I know that that's my strong suit. And then it comes down to the barbell, right? Deadlifts would be as unbroken as I possibly can. But then both power cleans and power snatches, I'd probably be on singles.
Yeah.
Because I know that if I try to string more than 2 or 3 together, it's going to tax me more to get back on the bar. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's going to gas me out to get back on the bar, as opposed to if I can do a single and drop it, I kind of lose all the tension of bringing it back down to the ground, and it allows me to catch my breath. For an extra second.
Yeah, so that's what I was thinking on those cleans, especially on those power snatches. Like, you can do that weight, but for how long?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe once you get into the end of those power snatches, maybe holding for the last 3 to 5, depending on how you're feeling. If you can try to finish out, sprint the end, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, like, so that's my perspective on it. But what would you change?
So my variation or difference, the only difference there really would be, I think, just trying to take smart sets for myself. So on the pull-ups, while I could do a set of 20, could I repeat it 3 times? Maybe, maybe not. In that case, I'm looking at sets of quick 10s, because I know I can hold on to that. I can hold on to 2 sets of 10s and get back on that bike, or no, get on the barbell, right? On the barbell, deadlifts, I tend to play that by ear and how I'm feeling in the moment after the pull-ups, because I'm not as dialed in with that, so I'm not 100% sure where I would be, or how many, or what type of breath situation I'm in. That's lately been my limiter, is trying to be able to catch my breath. The bike, I would just try to keep a steady pace on throughout the entire workout. Kind of like you were saying, not necessarily an all-out effort sprint, but something I can maintain. And then, and then singles on the power cleans and snatches. That's what I'd be going for.
Yeah, but I think the key that both of us brought up is that we at least have an idea of where we're at on these
Roughly,
pull-ups.
yeah.
This is kind of the, you know what I mean? Like, we
For
both
a lot
have,
of people, that can be a make or break spot.
exactly. But that's why the bike and the pull-ups are consistent in that sense, because I want it to be that like make or break of like, are you going to go unbroken on the first 20, but then at the end of that last 20, are you going to have to break it up into fives?
Right.
You know what I mean? Or threes.
Right.
Like, is that going to absolutely send you? Or is it better at the beginning to go 10 and 10, like you said, and to maintain 10 and 10 then the entire time? Because more transitions, more rest is going to take more time.
Right. Especially at the end when you're real fatigued. But if you've kind of staved off that fatigue, so you haven't gone till failure up until that point, you're going to be able to be moving a lot smoother and hopefully be at a faster time by the end of it.
Exactly. Yep.
Then Saturday, another gymnastics focus, looks like. Is that it?
Yeah. So Saturday for the costume workout, we've got kind of a wall ball, toes to bar, and handstand push-up workout. Like kind of a long AMRAP, to be honest. I believe it's 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it'll be the same. It'll be of a similar format to last weekend, where we kind of did a Hollyman style, basically.
Ooh, that's a fun long one.
I personally, Hollyman is one of my absolute favorites.
Yeah.
So I like, and the key to it, and the key like reason behind why I like that style of workout is because it takes all movement focus almost out of it. Like, I know I can do 5 wall balls.
Yeah.
I would hope. That's what I'm saying. But like, and then for me, I know I can do 3 handstand push-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, I know I can do 1 power clean at 225. There's absolutely like no limiter for me in the movement whatsoever. It is quite literally just how fast I can get from one movement to the next and be able to.
Just on the transitions.
Exactly.
Yep.
And that's like an under, like I call it moping, but like that's like an underlying like issue with a lot of like how we train is like that. You guys want better times, you got to get there. You know what I mean? Like, you
can't stand around.
Yes, like standing around and is one of like the major factors in increasing times.
Yeah.
Because the amount of transition time that you take in between movements is important and will add up. And time goes much, much, much faster when you're sitting there with your hands on your knees as opposed to when you've got the barbell up in the front rack. Like, one of the big things that I've tried to work on over the last like month and a half is like getting into these like longer metcons and stuff like that. I had like sets of 800-meter runs, and I've tried to get like from my like wall balls like right onto the run, and like it felt awful for the first 200. Felt awful, but then after that, I felt normal because I've got back to a normal like pace, and it's that recovering while moving. It's that knowing that like it's gonna come back. Like some of you might have heard me say that during the Open last year with like the rowing at the end. Like you get on the rower or whatever, and it feels awful for like the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the last like 2 minutes that you have to be on it, you at least like feel more normal. I don't know how to explain that like exact feeling, but like it's been described to me at one point as like you can only tolerate so much pain, and then all of the pain after that is like a very like incremental like more feeling. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like a wall sit.
At some point, pain is just pain.
Exactly.
You just
a 40-second.
It's not changing anymore.
Like a 40-second wall sit to me feels the exact same as a 2-minute wall sit, because like in those ranges, the amount of pain doesn't change for me. However, a 2-minute wall sit feels much different than a 10-minute wall sit. Those are different. And like, I think the training age, the amount of training, obviously like what type of shape you're in and everything.
It does come into play.
100%. But like, this is all about knowing yourself and working on it and keeping track of your workouts via the notes.
Yes.
That's why.
Very important to record your score.
Yeah.
Which is something we'll get into a little bit more in later episodes how to record your score, what the different scoring systems are, that type of thing, because there's some confusion around that at times, especially with newer people. So we'll get into that a little bit more. But what we wanted to get into today was to introduce you to our gym's only level 3, placed 33rd at Wadapalooza in 2025 in Miami, was on the Rocktown Rough Riders in the 2025 Syndicate Crown. They were 6th place going into the final day of competition. Let me introduce you to Coach Colin Bash.
Wow. We went over this before the podcast. He did not tell me that there was an intro.
There's an intro. So we are interviewing Colin today, getting to know a little bit more about your background, about, if you will, your superhero origin story. Where did you come from? What did you... I mean, we're about to find out.
There's not an Uncle Ben.
Okay, no Uncle Ben. But what we wanted to get into ask starting off, how long have you been in like the fitness health space, you could say?
So, man, I got into CrossFit my sophomore year of college. I had been like on and off working out prior to that, just like normal bodybuilding stuff and like some running on the side. But I got really into it my sophomore year of college when I had a roommate that was like a founding member at a gym in Ames. So he was trying to like recruit more people to come to his gym, obviously, because it was brand new. And I went in, I had a free trial. And I fell in love, which is surprising because I think I did like a 7.5-minute grace on my first day at 135 though.
That's not bad. I mean, it's a lot better than my first time doing grace.
I like so like that, but that's the thing. Like I had been working out prior, like not.
So you had some experience before.
I had some experience.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually remember my freshman year. The same roommate that told me about CrossFit, I had been asking him because he was chiseled. Like he had been a wrestler in high school. And he was just like absolutely like the most chiseled human being I had ever seen up until that point. Like in real life.
Yeah,
right.
I mean? Like, not on TV.
Yes. In real life, he was the most chiseled human being I'd ever met at that point. And I was like trying to like work on my legs. I remember asking him, like, I'm really trying to like find like another movement to like work on my legs. And dude goes, well, have you ever tried a thruster? I was like, no, what's that? And I remember going to the gym. He like explained it to me. And I remember going to like the Globo gym or whatever, or the like university gym, and doing like 6x3 thrusters at like 95 pounds and being like,
sounds awful.
What is happening to my legs? 6 sets of 3 with like 2 minutes of rest.
What an introduction.
Yeah, that was my freshman year. And then like it took me a full year after that.
Sophomore or something like that, you got into CrossFit. So how many years ago was that?
I'm 30. That was 19. So
I was going to make them do the math for you.
Yeah.
11 years ago. Okay.
Okay, yeah. We know I'm old. I have gray in the beard. You could probably see it.
So how long have you been coaching for?
Man, coaching kind of came up out of a necessity at first.
How so?
So so the first gym that I went to that first year, freshman year, over the summer closed.
Oh.
So I went to go to my internship in Omaha, and then I came back and the gym was like no longer a thing.
Okay.
And at that time I didn't know the owner like that well. I know him a lot better now. I talk to him almost every day still. But at that time I didn't know the owner that well. So like there had been some drama between him and like and his partner or whatever, and all of a sudden he got locked out of the gym, and then the building got sold, and like it kind of just got pulled out from under him, it sounds like.
So really not anything to do with him, is the landlord.
I mean,
basically at that point seems like shut him down.
Well, so like it sounded like his partner did it. You know what I mean? Like I still don't have the full story. Like I could probably go and ask him. But in any case, the gym that I was at shut down. So I had to drive. At that point, I finally had a car in college, and so instead of taking the bus to the gym every day, I could take my car, and I trained at a gym called the Arena out in Nevada. and they had no open gym access, so I had to wait for my friend who had been the owner of the other gym and now was a coach at this new gym to come and open it for me. Okay. And dude was late every day.
Gotta love it.
Like, I'm not kidding. It's probably the reason why, like, you guys all know that sometimes I get a little heated about lateness. So like it might be where it all stems from, but he was late literally every day.
Yeah.
So for like 4 or 5 months, I would literally be doing homework on my phone in the car to try and like do something to pass the time until dude would finally show up at the gym and I could get a workout in. There was one time, it might have been 2 times, where I was in the car for over an hour when he said that he was going to be there at 2 and he didn't show up until like 3:15. It was like, bro, what are we doing? Like, just tell me you're not going to be there until 3. I could have been doing something else, right?
It's fair.
In any case, and then so after 4 months of that, there had been a member that actually the owner was good friends with that is getting a little shout out here because he's Bethany's brother. So Bethany and Kevin Kazmirowski, who are members of the gym, her brother John Vanderkar never came to Nevada after the factory, the first gym closed. Yeah. He went to a gym in West Ames. Okay. And so he eventually convinced me to go over there. And they also didn't have an open gym. So I got to the point where the owner at that time, her name was Morgan, was like, well, like, you could start coaching and then I could give you a key. And I was like, sure, okay. And so we had to go with her, though it was different than even here. I did a 6-month internship. Oh. So that I could have a key to that gym.
That's about how long it took me, right?
No. I think it took you like a month, but like I had 6 months, and she would make me like journal about experiences, and like I worked really, really hard in that internship to eventually be able to coach. But yeah, it was like, and in any case, the original thought process behind it was, well, I like helping people, and like I had already like helped or been like kind of like, you know, like kind of like how you guys do in class sometimes, where like we like help members or other members help members. I had kind of already been doing that from time to time, depending on if I knew the person or not. So like I was kind of getting an idea of how to coach, but that first gym and Morgan and John really did like affect the way that I coach and kind of, I mean, at this point, affect the culture here, basically.
For sure.
Because that was where like we originally did progressions. Like, I don't know if you guys have been to a different gym, but not all gyms do progressions.
I have, and I can confirm.
Just in case. Anyway, so like that's where progressions came from for me and all this type of stuff. And yeah, so originally it was just to get a key, and then after maybe like a month, it was like, man, I really like doing this. Like I would like to pick up more. I tried to pick up more classes so that I could get done sooner, basically, so that I could actually like start coaching on my own. Because 6 months was going to be a long time.
Yeah.
And it was, but I did the whole thing and passed her initial inspection. But I mean, I guess if Nolan says that it took him like a month to get past, it took me 6 months to learn what I now do. So which one of us is actually the slower one here?
We'll let the audience decide. So it was about 11 years ago you got started, roughly. Yep. So what really started you on your journey, or what kind of what was like the motivating force, you would say, or what drove you to pursue CrossFit, to get into it and really like dive in as deep as you have?
Yeah. Man, originally, like there was some underlying factors when I first started that I wanted to join, like whether you want to call it like self-esteem issues or anything like that, that I felt like I needed to be in better shape or wanted to look a little bit better. Which is so funny because if you know me now, you know that I don't really care how I look as long as I perform.
Right.
But so originally there was a little bit of that, and then soon after that, I kind of like, upon like getting into the methodology, and like John, my Bethany's brother, was already a level 1, and I don't know if he ever got his level 2 or not, but was a level 1 and like really like preaches the methodology, or preached at the time the methodology. And so like once I started like getting into it and like talking about like fixing heart disease and like reversing diabetes and like getting like all of those types of things, congenital heart disease runs in my family.
Oh.
My grandfather died of congenital heart disease, and my dad had a triple bypass when he was 36, I want to say, which is incredibly young for that procedure to take place.
I would say so.
Yeah. So there's a lot of heart issues in my family. So like originally it was kind of vain that I got into it, and then soon I would say after that, or once I started like learning more about it a little bit, which is just kind of like in passing or whatever
Right.
John and Aaron were talking about, or I eventually like learned how beneficial it could be for me, and then I just like fell off the cliff. Like I was in, you know what I mean? Like once I figured out that like if this could help me fix, like you know,
I
mean?
realized
like,
there are deeper motivations or deeper reasons, deeper things. You know, there's more benefits than at the initial, because I think that's a lot of reason why we all start and get into it. Like, want to look better naked, you know, you want to, feel good, you want to get healthy, you want to perform, and then, you find out is like there's going to be a lot more benefits to this, physical, mental, a lot of things. That goes really deep, especially too once you take that level 1 100%. And you kind of learn a little bit more of why all of this works.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's why I really like took off after that. That was once I like figured out like how beneficial it could be or had been for other people out there, like it really took off for me in that way. So like there was a point when I was just working out to work out, you know what I mean? And then there was a long time, probably like a year or two, when I was working out because of like the like reversing heart disease or whatever. I thought like it could help me and be beneficial in that way for my physical health. And then there's also the competitive side. I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm incredibly competitive.
Yeah, so some of our newer members may not, but that's kind of where I wanted to go in the next direction is what how did you get to where you are as an athlete? Like, what does that take? And some may not know, is kind of highlighted there when I was talking about you were 33rd Wadapalooza. You went to the CrossFit semifinals on a team. So that's very, very high level athlete there. So how did we get to this point? What did you do? Or what would you say to someone who wants to get to that point? What would they have to do? What does it take to get there?
I think there's one word to describe it, and it's insanity. No, I'm just kidding.
It's not a bad one.
I mean, like, so what I was getting at is that, like, on top of the fact that I'm doing this sport, like, just in general, I've always been incredibly competitive, like, in baseball, in football, and whatever else I played when I was younger. I've always just been. I did mathletes one year. I was incredibly competitive in that. Like, I like winning.
I got roped into that one event.
Yeah, that was it.
That was it. I was so out of my depth. Like, it had to be at least 10 grades higher than the level of math that I was doing. I don't know how. That was the end of that.
I did it one year, only because I don't know if anybody else knows this about me. Like, but I don't know if even you know. But I went to college to be an engineer, and I passed fairly easily. I don't know, like not easily, maybe like fairly well. I graduated like cum laude from, which is like the third tier. It's not like the top tier, but
it's higher than I got.
But I graduated cum laude from Iowa State with a bachelor's degree in engineering, mechanical engineering. So I was at one point in my life very good at math. So that's why they roped me into that for a hot minute, or for a year or whatever it was. But like I said, like even in that, like I wanted to win. Like so winning is kind of a motivator for me. I understand like it's not necessarily like you can't depend on winning in that type of stuff, but the underlying thing here is that I am incredibly competitive and I've always wanted to be incredibly competitive. So that drives my like want to continue to work out all the time. But it's more than that. I have also like been known to be upset about being bad at things. It's really funny because I was just thinking about this the other day with I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, I did 70 unbroken chest to bar. And then Greg texted me and he was like, remember that one time when you texted me about not being able to do butterfly pull-ups? Because like when I was in college still, I had just met Greg and I texted him about like some open workout that I had tried and I was super frustrated because I couldn't do butterfly chest to bar pull-ups at the time. And I was and now
it's a little different.
It's one of my strongest, if not my strongest gymnastics movement is butterfly chest to bar pull-ups. And I did 70 unbroken.
Yeah.
So there's a part of me that might be a little bit broken, going back to that insanity comment about like, if I'm bad at something, I have this like ravenous need to get better at it. Almost no matter what it is. So CrossFit kind of fell into that space originally, and with the amount that I've like loved the methodology and loved getting behind it and loved helping people, like it's only grown in that sense. Like I know it's hard to like kind of make the connection between like helping like the general like gym goer and also like myself wanting to be at like the elite level, but like all of it goes hand in hand. Like the more inspired I get by you guys showing up and coming in and doing it every single day, or just coming in when you can and making it work, like also inspires me to then want to go and continue to do this like high level of CrossFit if I can. Like Nolan said, like the Wadapalooza stuff, like even though I'm not doing it this year, like I've qualified for that 4 years in a row now in some sense. And at one point, I remember when I first like got into like competitiveness or first understood what competitiveness in CrossFit looked like, that was like the top of what I wanted to do, like the absolute like tippy top. I did, man, before I qualified in like what 2021, I think I did that qualifier like 5 times without qualifying.
Yeah,
like, and then I've now qualified 4 years in a row. But like, so it's stuff like that that also just drives me. Like in the case of doing the qualifier and not qualifying, I considered it a failure. Like it was the goal was to go right. So the failure, the frustration of failure in that sense continues to drive me. And this is that right now is the longest that it's been that I've ever not done a qualifier. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
It's super interesting. I haven't done a qualifier since.
I feel like it hasn't been that long.
Well, yeah, I haven't done a qualifier. Well, I haven't done a qualifier since WFP, which was like right after the Open.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, which like right it was like a month after the Open, maybe like end of April or something like that. Because typically, like I do the Wadapalooza qualifier right now.
Yeah.
But I'm skipping it this year for baby reasons and other things that are going on in life. So. Wait, this is the longest that it's been. I haven't done a qualifier, but I mean, like you going back to like what it takes to be this level of athlete too is.
There's a lot to it.
There's a lot to it. Like I don't know. How often do I run every week?
At least once.
At least once
that I see.
And that's just like a specific running workout.
Yeah.
Like it's one of those things of people like say it online all the time, I feel like, or you see like the elite level athletes say it all the time. But like the unsexy stuff, like the simple, like grind it out stuff is what gets you there.
Yeah.
It just does. And like you can't skip it if you want to be here. You cannot skip your 5K run training.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like you can't not run in the warm up. You can't. It's just.
Yeah.
Nolan makes fun of me because on Thursdays I always ask him like, "Hey man, you want to row for an hour with me?" How many times have I asked you that?
Yeah, typically the same answer every time.
No, but it's like that like underlying base foundation of fitness is so incredibly important because everything is built on that. So like. It takes time. Like I said, like I tried to qualify for Wadapalooza 5 times before I qualified. So like it just takes time. But that underlying base, I think, is like the main like point. And then practice, right?
Right.
We talked about skill days last week.
Yep.
You have to practice skills. They don't just come easily. Like the thing that it sounds advanced. I know, I get it. But like the thing that I'm working on now is the handstand walk ramp. If I'm gonna go back to, like Nolan said, if I'm gonna go back to semifinals, even if it's on a team or if it's individual or whatever it happens to be in the future, there's gonna be a handstand walk ramp, and I can do it. I can't do it fast, so I have to practice.
Yeah. Yeah. So, kind of along those lines, what would you say are some goals that you're working on currently, whether it's like in the gym, regards to coaching, or even maybe something outside the gym? What would you say that you're working on?
Man, I mean,
or goals or things that you want to attain, or in the future.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there's different levels to that. Inside the gym, outside the gym.
Right.
Outside the gym, we're having a baby in January, so trying to be the best father that I can be. Painting garbage trucks in little kids' rooms, and you know what I mean, doing all the little kid stuff because I don't want to miss having little kids. You guys know that I try to keep my boundaries and I don't work on Sundays and stuff like that. I want to be there for Arch, and I want to be there for the new baby. I won't say the name, but I want to be there for the new baby when she comes. And so that's like probably the absolute number one focus. Like that's always going to be above all.
For sure.
Family time is important. You know, I'm only going to have little kids for hopefully only 4 years or 5 years. All right. So, I mean, meaning that I don't want to have like 6 kids. Like you make fun of me.
Well, you never know. Accidents happen.
Anyway, I want to be there as much as I can while they're little because this is an important time. Then we could talk about like, house projects or whatever else. I'm handy enough where I can do things in my house to try and improve our quality of life at home as best as possible. And then,
For sure.
Inside the gym, I am trying to make a legit team this year for CrossFit and for the open season, which is another reason why I didn't want to do Wodapalooza this year because we don't know the rules yet for how teams are going to work and everything like that. So I think, and I don't even know if I've told you this, but I think that I have a team of 4 that doesn't involve who you think that it's going to involve.
Interesting.
So that's been the major focus of like inside the gym stuff is just trying to find, to be honest, fit women that are close or close enough, and then just trying to get as fit as I possibly can for the open.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like typically, like if I'm gonna peak for a qualifier, like it would be around now, but I don't want to peak right now because I want to peak in February as best as I possibly can. Obviously, having a baby in January is not
ideal.
I'm not gonna make that easy, but I'm gonna try and get as much fitness as I can before she comes, and then try and hang on to it as best as I possibly can until the open, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
But that's the inside the gym and outside of the gym goals.
All right, then what does the future hold? What are you seeing, or what are you looking towards for the next, like, say, like 5, 10 years down the road? Something, some type of future goal. What do you got?
Yeah. I mean, my like number one like future goal is owning at some point, whether it be owning this gym, owning X4, owning another gym on its own. So like that's number one. Number 2 is probably like growing my portfolio of like programming athletes and stuff like that too. Like number 3 is continuing my education for my L3. So I always have to continue my education for L3. I get 3 years to like obtain a certain amount of continuing education credits. So whether that be going to seminars or taking online courses, I'm trying to always work on that. But then, like I said, like there's a part of me that would think that it's really cool if I could be a programmer at some point for like a Mayhem, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a bigger name. Yeah.
Exactly. Like if I could fit in as a remote programmer for like a Mayhem or a Brute or a TTT, or like who knows.
Right.
But I don't know if that's necessarily like something right now. But I think like obviously growing that portfolio of athletes and continuing to help like individuals in that way attain their goals is kind of my number 2 focus in that way. Like number 1 is owning and moving forward with that, but I still think that's a couple of years, hopefully before I'm 35, but a couple of years down the road still. So like the immediate focus is getting better at programming and like getting better at helping individuals and learning more and that type of stuff with with my individual clients. And then number 3 is my level 3 continuing education. I totally lost my train of thought there for a second. But yeah, so trying to work on that type of stuff. And then, competition wise is probably below all that because all of that is professional. So I would love, the end goal has always been the CrossFit Games.
Right.
I don't exactly know what that looks like at this point. If it's team, if it's individual, if it's masters when I get there,
right?
Who knows? But the end goal is always going to be the CrossFit Games. I don't know that I'm ever going to be satisfied until I make it to that level at some point, even if it's the 50 to 55 age group. But
that's what they say. If you hold on long enough,
if you just hold on, if I just hold on to this fitness for another 20 years, I could make the games. But
I mean, that's what I say. I mean,
the bet that I made with myself. Like when I was in college, I made a bet that I wouldn't eat McDonald's until I made the games again. So it's been 10 years.
You did tell me that. I forgot about that. I forget about a lot.
I just want a Big Mac, guys. I just want a snack wrap, guys.
Well, I feel like this has been very revealing.
That I'm a fat kid at heart, and the only reason I'm fit is because I told myself I couldn't have McDonald's until I get fit enough.
We've learned a lot about Coach Colin in this podcast. If you'd like to learn more about Coach Colin, you know where he's at. He's at Ariac Fitness. Whether he's at X4 or the CrossFit side, pull him aside, take one of his classes, get to know him a little bit better. We'll keep on doing this, whether it's with other coaches, with myself, eventually, depending on how schedules go, maybe not every week, but, we'll get them in eventually. So, keep an eye out for that. And then, of course, just go up, talk to your coach, learn a little bit about them, let them learn a little bit about you. Go from there.
Go from there. Good?
We're good.
I think so too.